PTO-powered Firewood processors have a few advantages over other power sources for Firewood processors. Today I want to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of using a tractor to run your Firewood processor, and then also show you guys what the 365 can do when running off of a tractor. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan, and as I said, today I'm going to be running the 365 with the tractor PTO, and I want to get a little bit into the advantages of using a tractor to power your Firewood processor. Now, for people who don't know, PTO stands for power takeoff, and it's basically a way for you to transfer the power from your tractor to an auxiliary implement. So you'll see it all the time with like tillers and mowers and brush cutters and things like that. But as you can see here, you can also do it with a Firewood processor. And the reason that's a positive is one, cost. It's going to be a lot more affordable to get a PTO powered Firewood processor than either a three-phase powered one or one with a dedicated engine on it. And the reason for that is because the pumps are going to be more affordable, and then also along with the pumps for like an engine dedicated unit, you're also going to have to pay for the engine. You have to service that engine. Three-phase, you need to have three-phase on the property, and unless you have a commercial property, odds are you do not already have three-phase, whereas there are plenty of people who have tractors who are doing agriculture work or doing forest work or land maintenance, and so this makes it a very affordable option for those individuals who have a way to run their processor. Now, the number one thing we get told when we're talking to people about processors, especially PTO units, is that they don't want to put hours on their tractor. And that's an understandable concern to have. People don't want to put extra hours on something if they don't feel like they're getting something back out of it. To that, I want to say that I do think there are a lot of benefits of running a processor off of a tractor. For one, you are already doing your yearly, monthly maintenance on your tractor if you're using it throughout the year. So when you go to run your processor, your power source, your tractor, has already been maintained and taken care of. One of the number one things we get asked or calls about at the beginning of the season is someone who maybe only uses their processor seasonally, and they need to go through the checklist of is the oil bad, is the fuel bad, has it been sitting for too long? And so for people who, especially for people who are looking at doing Firewood processing very seasonally, like only in the fall or only in the spring, I do think that there is a lot of benefit to running it off of a tractor. Along with that, people talk about the hours you're putting on your tractor, and for that, one of the advantages of using a processor is that you're not driving your tractor around when using the processor. The hours you're putting on your tractor are just on the PTO. So they're a lot more low impact than if you were going out in the field or over crazy terrain and you were putting all that wear and tear, the transmission and your wheels and everything. So it's not as high impact as some other applications of your tractor are going to be. And that's positive because you're not going to be putting as much wear and tear on it. And with the Firewood processor, you're going to be producing firewood, which is either going to translate into heating for your property or revenue via firewood sales, or potentially both, depending on how your setup is. So it is a very cost-effective way to kind of recover. You're going to recover costs of your tractor while potentially profiting. So looking at a processor, I wouldn't let the hours you put on your tractor be a big dissuasion on whether or not a PTO processor is the right fit for you. Typically, we run more into situations where people who either A, don't have a tractor that's big enough to run their machine, or B, if they're not sure how they're going to load up logs if their tractor's tied up. And to that, I want to say the hookup for the PTO is very straightforward. We have the PTO shafts here. It's a spring-loaded tab. You push that in, slide the shaft on, you can take it off. It's very easy to unhook your tractor then and reload a rack. Or if you're using a log lift like we have here, you just stage it next to a log pile and then you're good to go. But those are kind of the main points about a PTO processor. It's gonna be a lot more cost effective, and then your service and maintenance on it's gonna be a lot more straightforward, especially for seasonal producers. But with all that being said, I think I've talked long enough, so I'm gonna fire up the PTO, get this processor running, and we're gonna make some firewood. Well guys, there you have it. Just finished running that pile of logs that was next to the 365. Got, I'd say 5-6 crates full of wood right here. Once we level that out, we'll know for sure. But got cold out. We got rain yesterday. Then I got a cold snap last night, so the ground's actually starting to freeze up. Had to retension the outfeed conveyor belt at the start of the video when I started running the processor. That wasn't moving, so just had to retension that, and that got it moving. The infeed belt is going to need to get retentioned here soon too. It wasn't too big of a problem, but when I got to some of those bigger logs, it wasn't grabbing as well as I would have liked it to. But it's getting cold out here finally. Got some snow flurries going on today. Got a nice load of firewood. Most of this stuff's pretty dry. And with the small logs, I was just loading those into the machine by hand because it's a little bit easier. You can run this machine with a log rack. So if you are looking at, having a way to load logs in the machine and you want to do it that way, that is also an option. We recommend the 422 with the 365 just standard unit. With the Pro, you can do the 2-chain. I think the 3-chain with the Pro is a bit much, but go big or go home, as they say. But the 422 is a good all-around rack. Otherwise, we do have the log lift, which I'm currently running on it. This one has the additional powered infeed roller, which is really nice when I get the logs up on the log lift. One of the things is we let these logs sit a little bit out here. I was gonna get to it, and we had to get the tractor serviced, and things just kind of kept delaying it. So a good chunk of those logs were frozen together, but once I rocked them free, most of them were pretty light. So this wood's pretty dry. This is probably pretty ready to burn. Most of our ash here is. So hope this video was informative. Hope it showed you guys kind of what you can expect the 365 to do. Hope it answered some questions about PTO powered units. If you have any other questions you'd like to have answered, feel free to leave a comment below or reach out to us through our website, metsonmachines.com. Always happy to help answer any questions you have. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.